Sea-Gull reached out recently inviting me to pick a watch to review. Morning guys and welcome back to the channel. Of course, I picked another incredibly affordable watch containing the awesome ST2130. I love this movement. It is a legal clone of the ETA 2824, beating at 28,800 beats per hour. It hacks, it hand winds. I've reviewed a number of watches now containing this movement and they've always run fantastically well straight out the box. They use this movement a lot, not just in affordable watches, but in watches costing upwards of $650. When it comes to the Sea-Gull range of watches, I think the best value for money is in the more affordable watches containing this incredible movement. And you never know, you might be able to pick one of these watches up for less than $150 in the upcoming sale. Right, I'm now going to head over to the Lightbox to show you the watch that I picked. And here is the watch that I chose. It's a fairly simple, dressier style of watch, and it's, well, quite monochrome, isn't it? You've got a silver dial with black hands and black markers, a stainless steel case, and a fairly simple black leather strap. Now on my way over to the Lightbox, I popped this one on the time grapher, and this ST2130 is running dreadfully. Well, it's the worst ST2130 I've ever seen on the time grapher, but it's still running pretty well, isn't it? Plus 7 seconds a day, beautifully consistent, decent amplitude, okay beat error. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And something else I enjoy about this movement is the date change. Grand Seiko promotes their quartz movements as having a date change that happens within 2,000th of a second. Did I say that right? I think I did. Well, on paper, this one may not be quite so quick, but to the naked eye, it's pretty instantaneous. Right, I think we've covered the movement enough. Let's take a closer look at the actual watch itself. Stainless steel case, fully polished, a little bit of detail actually on the lugs. So it's not a very simple case. Also, the bezel has a couple of steps in it. Signed crown, pull push crown, screw down case back, display case back. I'll check the crystals in a moment. Some specifications running around the outside. 50 meters of water resistance, and yeah, a genuine leather strap. Very simple leather strap actually, quite soft and malleable straight out the box. Stainless steel clasp or buckle, signed. It is a touch bigger than I prefer for this style of watch, but it's not too thick, is it? That's going to comfortably slide under a cuff. Yeah, so proportionally very nice and simple, very legible. Silver dial. There is a bit of sparkle to it. Contrasting simple hands, very slender black hands, and yeah, equally slender and simple markers at the hours, and yeah, dots for the rest of the markers. Sea-Gull is printed under the 12, automatic above the 6, and an equally simple date window at the 3 o'clock. It's not framed, it's just a, well, rectangular hole in the dial. I've zoomed in so we can have a closer look at the dial and the hands, but also the steel finishing on the case. It looks pretty good. Sea-Gull do tend to produce very nicely made watches, and yeah, they rarely come with any quality control issues. I don't actually recall ever receiving a Sea-Gull watch with an issue. They are a well-reputed, a huge brand, probably the biggest watch brand in China. They produce a huge number of automatic movements, not just for their own watches, but for other watches as well. So yeah, they certainly know what they're doing when it comes to producing watches. And yeah, this one seems nicely finished. The print seems nice and crisp. I'm not seeing any specks or dust or DNA on the dial or under the crystal. Yeah, looks nice. And here's the movement. It seems to be nicely finished. Lots of light play on the rotor from that finishing, isn't there? Look at the rainbow colors that you're seeing. And they've signed the rotor as well. So they are going to extreme lengths when it comes to all these little details, which I think add up to make this watch, well, even better value for money than I first thought. And here it is on my roughly average sized wrist. It's another good looking offering by Sea-Gull containing this awesome movement. It actually doesn't look too big for me. I just prefer this style to be a little bit smaller on my wrist, but yeah, it's very comfortable, not too heavy at all. The strap is fairly malleable straight out the box. As you can see, it sits fairly nice and flat to the wrist. So yeah, let me know what you think, guys, in the comments section. Right, before I wrap it up, let's test these crystals. The front facing crystal is sapphire. What about the back? It is mineral crystal. Whenever I review the more affordable Sea-Gull watches containing this automatic ST2130, I always speak very highly of them because I really do think they represent incredible value for money, especially if you can pick them up in the sales for less than $150. But for me, there is a little bit of an issue. On the whole, they look a little bit plain. There's just generally not a lot going on. Okay, the previous one I reviewed is gorgeous, but the one I reviewed today is just a very simple, plain looking, all day, everyday, dressier style of watch. They're not going to appeal to a huge number of people. It's not like they're putting this movement in a beautiful all stainless steel dive watch and then charging $175 for it. A lot of the watches will just look like this one. So although I do think they represent fantastic value for money, the key is to finding one that you love the look of, then waiting for a sale, and then hopefully picking it up for less than $150, and then you really will be absolutely thrilled. For this one though, there are a couple of other minor issues. The date change, the instantaneous date change I should add, happened at 7 minutes past 12. If you're going to produce a watch with an instantaneous date change, I think it needs to happen a little bit closer to midnight. And for me, this style of watch for the average person needs to be a touch smaller. These are minor niggles, I know, but still, I think they're worth reminding you of. Anyway, on the whole, fantastic value for money. There's no denying it. Incredible build quality, incredible movements, and yeah, there are plenty of them out there. So happy shopping during the sale, guys. Let me know what you pick up. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching.